Hey guys, Casey July from the July Studio. It's so good to see you guys here today. I am so nervous and I am so excited about this video. I took a lot of chances this morning. I don't even know how much memory is on this card that's in my camera, so yeah, I'm gonna kind of use that as a way to force myself to not babble or just talk about nothing, right? No. Okay. So today is number 1. This is very scary and very exciting for me. If you don't know anything about me, my name is Casey July from the July Studio. As you can see, my huge mess behind me. One of the things that I want you to watch as you follow my videos is I want you to watch me clean up my studio. And over time, I have some plans to clean some of this space up. And I would love for you guys to comment down below when you watch my videos. Let me know when you see the difference in the background. You won't see any right away maybe, but definitely take some time to comment down below when you see some differences. Just to give you a little bit of background, I am a professional costume designer and I work in cosplay, steampunk, alternative. I make corsets, christening gowns, wedding dresses, cosplays. I do take private clients and I also create fantasy clothing. As you're watching my videos, I do have fur babies, and the minute I start filming, my cats and my dogs and everybody want to get involved. And part of what I want to bring to you, part of what's really super important about these videos for me is that they are authentic. Some days you are going to see me the way I am this morning. It's Monday morning. I am a Monday morning whore. I don't believe in weekend letdown. I don't believe in saying, oh, it's Monday morning and not giving it 110%. I am the type of person that says it's Monday morning and I've been given this opportunity to start my week off on a great foot, and I'm going to always try to do that. I definitely want to be able to talk to you guys about family and friends. I am a mother. I've homeschooled I have older teenagers that are going into college. I've been engaged. I am engaged. I've been with somebody for several years now. We're planning a wedding. And I want to be able to talk to you guys. One of the biggest deals that we have the hardest time talking about as creators are things like depression, ADHD. Like right now, my legs are going 100 miles an hour under the table. So I don't want my videos to become just that. I definitely want to talk about sewing and cosplay, but I want you guys to know that there's no facade here. I may come to you some days completely pinned up. I may come to you some days completely unpinned. And I want you guys to know that that's healthy and that's real. And when I come to you, I want it to be in a spirit of love and education and kind of just letting you see what it looks like to live in this controlled chaos, in this creativity, and maybe that will help you feel like whatever you're going through or whatever you're doing, if you're trying to create cosplay in a little teeny tiny apartment with like almost no budget, I want you to know that that's healthy and that's great, and we're gonna get you started. And if you're somebody who's been working in cosplay for a long time and you're frustrated with the cosplay community and you're frustrated with the hate and the stigmatism behind cosplay, you know, adults playing with toys or adults playing dress up, I want these videos to be a place where people can come and they can learn and they can grow and they can build a community around the July Studio. So that being said, let's get started. Today, we're going to talk about patterns. Now, this is going to be an ongoing thing, right? This is going to be, let's talk about patterns, but this is going to be like something that I'm planning on making like 20 videos in this series. And I'm going to start today just by talking about patterns, and then a year or two from now will be someplace where a lot of you can open up a pattern and sew with it And I want that to be like a journey that we're on. That's definitely not something that you just do in one day. One of the biggest things I want to talk about today to get started is a negative stigma around patterns. I'm not exactly sure how this happened, because anybody who has ever learned how to sew, from a teacher or a mentor or in a classroom or just about anywhere, has started with some kind of a pattern. Either you're purchasing a pattern from the store or you're learning how to draft a pattern in the classroom. And I actually had somebody say to me one time in a thread on a social media, they were trying to insult me, and they were like, Casey July is not a real designer because they use patterns. And for like 2 years now, I've been chewing on that, and I was like, what's wrong with using a pattern? What's wrong with using a pattern? Now, I will say that if you copy someone else's pattern, if you buy a pattern from the store and you make this item and it looks exactly like this, and you try to enter it into a cosplay contest, or if you try to put it down the runway of a fashion show, somebody somewhere is going to say, hey, you copied that. But if you take a pattern, and I don't know if you can see, I'm working on a piece for a private client, and I have like traced over the top of this pattern, and I am completely and totally revamping this pattern. Now, what does that do for me? That means that I know the size and shape of this pattern. I know the size and shape of my client. I know that this is the look that they want, but I have the ability to take the pattern out and recut it and reshape it to make it look more like what they want. So am I going to walk away from this project and say, oh, look, I designed that coat? Yes and no. I'm never going to be afraid to tell someone. So yes, my greatest fear happened. I just got a few minutes into recording that video, and it died. Something else that I noticed that it was doing is it was going in and out of focus. I'm not very good at this yet, but I guarantee you, by the time we're done, we're going to have this down. All right, so that being said, I was talking about patterns. And so I was talking about how there's like this negative stigma around patterns, that like if you sew with a pattern, then you're not a real seamstress, you're not a real sewist, or you're not a real designer. And that's bullshit. Okay, so without turning this into a long drawn out thing, patterns have always been used. Our idea of a pattern that you buy at the store is fairly new. In this sense, I have patterns that are hand-drawn, that are from the 1880s, of layouts of corsets and underthings. So what would happen is a designer or a drafter, sometimes there's people called drapers too, they would go into the studio and they would take their measuring tools and they would draw out the pattern, and then everybody else in the studio would come in and they would make the garment based on that. You can draft a pattern to be different sizes. I know this is something that a lot of people struggle with, and we're going to talk about this more in the future. But if I draft a pattern to be one size, and I know how to draft a pattern, I can take a ruler and I can take my tools and I can draft that pattern into a bigger or a smaller size. I can make something longer or shorter. I can have something go from being pleats to being ruffles, and there's nothing bad about that. I think what people are thinking of that's bad is out and out copying somebody else. Like, if you go into the Calvin Klein studio and you pull one of their patterns off the table and you go to your house or go to your studio and you make that garment and you're like, I made this, then you stole their pattern. But if you take something like this and you go to the store and you buy this, it says on it, not for manufactured purposes, to be used for individual private home use only, not for commercial or manufacturing purposes. That means if you take this home, this one pattern, and you make something with it, and you draft it, and you change it, and you make it to fit your body, or you change something about the style, and you wear it, and you feel fantastic in whatever it is you're doing, you didn't steal their pattern. Now, if you take something like a pattern like this and you make 10 million of them and you manufacture them and you sell them, then you stole the pattern. See the difference there? All right. So next I just want to talk for a few minutes about all the different places you can find patterns. Now, I know we've got social media out the wazoo. Pinterest is fantastic. The only thing about Pinterest is sometimes the instructions are missing. And that can happen. Also, old and vintage patterns are amazing if you're doing revamp cosplay. Like this one is amazing. But sometimes the older patterns don't have any printing on the pattern pieces. They literally are just blank pieces of paper with dots and holes on them. If you don't know how to read this kind of a pattern, then that doesn't do you much good. Don't worry, I'll be making a video about older patterns that are like this. But this is one place to find a pattern to use. Obviously, you can buy patterns from places like Joann's, Hancock Fabrics, and from other places like that too. Don't be afraid to buy them and cut them up. You may say to me, oh my gosh, they're so expensive. Get them when they're $1.99. Get them when they're 5 for 99 cents a piece. Go check them out. I literally own about 4,000 patterns. I have vintage patterns. I have books full of patterns. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of the pattern. And once you purchase this pattern, it's yours. It becomes your pattern. So if you feel like you need to cut it up and then go buy another one when it's 99 cents on sale, do it. I do it all the time. I get one of every size sometimes and I wear something out or I use it in a way that's not intended, like on the front. Sometimes I purchase them so I can read the instructions if they've got like a really cool technique in the pattern. I don't even get it to use the pattern. I get it to use the information in the pattern. When they're on sale for like 99 cents or when you find them in a thrift store, it's a great way to get your hands on patterns that you can use to learn and grow. Another thing is you can pick up things at thrift stores. I picked up this book at a thrift store for 50 cents. It's a Singer Sewing Essential. This is one of the things that I'm going to give away. Woohoo! It has so many instructions and ideas. It's not exactly a pattern, but it gives you so much information for 50 cents at a thrift store. Another thing you can do is you can go to the library. Yes, I said the library. Okay, you guys know? Because this is where I'm going to spend my mini vacation. All right, So Beautiful magazine. I have these magazines. I have so many of them because I collected them. But one of the amazing things about these magazines is the patterns are inside them. They come with a pattern in each set of books. I was going to see if this one had it in there. I already took it out. I think I already took out this one too. But they show you how to make things. The instructions are right there. You can get these from the library, borrow them for a few weeks, get a folder or a notebook, jot down some notes. There you go. Another thing that you can do is you can go to places like Barnes & Noble and purchase books. Now, this can get a little pricey. Sometimes what I do is I go online and I look for the books and then I see if I can find them at the library. And then if I really, really love the book, then I purchase it at Barnes & Noble or someplace like that if I want it new. These, dun dun dun, have patterns inside of them. There's a little pocket in here that actually has the patterns inside of it. And the whole book is the instructions on how to make the garments inside, right? Oh my gosh, people actually sell books that have patterns in them. If they were such a bad thing, maybe that wouldn't be legal. One of the other things that I have in my studio are books that came from people that I love. This is a patchwork quilting and applique book that came from my grandmother's studio. And again, it has patterns in it and it has instructions in it on how to make things. Wow, look at that. You can actually go and find instructions on how to make something and have the pattern. Wow. Who would have thought? All right, guys, this is Casey July from the July Studio. What I want for you guys to do for me today is I want you to comment below if you've ever had someone say anything to you or someone you know that has something bad to do with patterns. Like I said before, I actually had somebody say something to me. They were trying to insult me about the fact that I use patterns and that I wasn't a real designer or seamstress because I used patterns. If somebody's ever said something negative to you, or if you've ever struggled with a pattern, leave a comment down below. Let me know what kind of tutorials and what kind of things you're struggling with, or something that you have like a negative vibe about and you want to kind of smash that. I will go through the comments below, and let's say, I don't know, a week from today, it's Monday, it'll be April the 2nd, a week from today, I'll go through the comments and I'll pick a winner, and the winner will win one of my... Hey guys, we're gonna get this video made yet. I promise you. Go down below, comment something negative that you've heard or somebody has said to you about a pattern or using a pattern for your sewing. Then like the July Studio, subscribe, make sure to hit that bell so you can follow my tutorials from here on out. You can also find me on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, and I try to post different things on each social media so you get to see different sides of my life. Thanks so much for following me. Thanks so much for going on this journey with me. And I hope that everybody is just as excited as I am. And maybe a little bit scared too. All right, guys. Take care of yourselves. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.